Hey there, science fans. Today we're diving deep into the world of DNA and RNA. These molecules are the blueprints of life. They hold the instructions for building and running every living thing. But what are DNA and RNA made of? Imagine tiny building blocks called nucleotides and nucleosides. They are the key ingredients in these amazing molecules. Nucleotides and nucleosides are essential for life. They help store and transmit genetic information. Pretty cool, right? Think of a long chain. That's like a DNA or RNA molecule. Now picture each link in that chain as a nucleotide. These nucleotides are connected, forming a long chain that carries genetic code. Nucleosides are similar to nucleotides. They are like the nucleotides' little siblings. They play a crucial role in forming nucleotides. So what's the difference between nucleotides and nucleosides? It's all about an important component called a phosphate group. Nucleotides have it and nucleosides don't. It's like having a special key that unlocks their full potential. In the next section, we'll explore the components of nucleotides in more detail. Get ready for an exciting journey into the building blocks of life. Section 2, Inside Nucleotides, a trio of essential components. Let's zoom in and explore the fascinating world inside a nucleotide. Each nucleotide has three main parts: a nitrogenous base, a sugar molecule, and a phosphate group. Think of them as a three-part puzzle that fits together to create these essential building blocks. First up, we have the nitrogenous base. These bases come in two main flavors, purines and pyrimidines. Don't worry about the fancy names for now, we'll learn more about them later. Next, we have the sugar molecule. This sugar is like the backbone of the nucleotide. DNA uses a sugar called deoxyribose, while RNA uses a slightly different sugar called ribose. These sugars provide structure and support to the nucleotide. Lastly, we have the phosphate group. This is the component that distinguishes nucleotides from nucleosides. The phosphate group is like a connector piece. It allows nucleotides to link together and form long chains, creating the backbone of DNA and RNA. These three components work together to make nucleotides the building blocks of life. They carry the genetic instructions that make you, you. Now that we know the parts of a nucleotide, let's explore how they come together to form the famous DNA ladder. Get ready for some structural wonders. Section 3, the backbone's role, supporting the DNA ladder. Imagine a ladder. That's the basic structure of DNA. The sides of this ladder are formed by a special arrangement called the sugar-phosphate backbone. Remember how nucleotides have a sugar molecule and a phosphate group? Well, these components join hands with their neighbors, creating a strong and stable backbone for DNA. The sugar and phosphate groups alternate, forming a repeating pattern that extends along the DNA molecule. But the backbone isn't just about providing support, it also gives DNA directionality, like an arrow pointing the way. One end of the DNA strand is called the 5' end, and the other end is called the 3' end. These numbers refer to the carbon atoms in the sugar molecule. This directionality is crucial for DNA replication and protein synthesis. It ensures that genetic information is read and copied correctly. The sugar-phosphate backbone is like the unsung hero of DNA. Now that we know how the backbone provides structure and directionality, let's explore the rungs of the DNA ladder. These rungs hold the genetic code, and they're made up of those fascinating nitrogenous bases we mentioned earlier. Get ready to crack the code. Section 4, Purines and Pyrimidines, the language of DNA. Remember those nitrogenous bases? They're not just sitting on the sidelines, they're the stars of the show. They hold the genetic information that determines everything about you, from your eye color to your height. There are two main types of nitrogenous bases, purines and pyrimidines. Purines have a double ring structure, while pyrimidines have a single ring structure. It's like having two different shapes that fit together perfectly. In DNA, the purines, adenine, A, and guanine, G, pair up with the pyrimidines, thymine, T, and cytosine, C, respectively. These base pairs form the rungs of the DNA ladder, holding the two strands together. The pairing of these bases is very specific, like a lock and key. Adenine, A, always pairs with thymine, T, and guanine, G, always pairs with cytosine, C. This precise pairing ensures that genetic information is replicated accurately. Think of these base pairs as the letters of the genetic alphabet. The sequence of these bases along the DNA molecule forms the genetic code. This code carries the instructions for building and maintaining an organism. Understanding the roles of nucleotides, nucleosides, and the sugar-phosphate backbone is like unlocking the secrets of life itself. It's a fascinating world of molecular machinery that makes us who we are.